much needed till it's our time to talk. Yes.
Council will be in order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Present. Madam Clerk, I think we are having a technical difficulty with the audience at home hearing us, so we're going to take a moment on the roll to allow Focus Springfield to make a correction, and then we will recognize the councilors that are present virtually. Madam Clerk, can you please recognize Councilor Hurst?
Councilor Hurst?
Present.
Present.
Can you please recognize Councilor Walsh?
Councilor Walsh?
Present.
Present.
Please recognize Councilor Perez.
Councilor Perez?
Present.
Present.
Please recognize Councilor Davila.
Councilor Davila?
Present.
Present.
Please recognize Councilor Whitfield.
Councilor Whitfield?
Present.
Present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Will council and guests please rise and join me in a moment of silence? Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You can be seated. Madam Clerk, will you please recognize Councilor Edwards?
Councilor Edwards.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. As we proceed forward, please let the record reflect that Councilors Hurst, Walsh, Perez, Davila, and Whitfield are participating in tonight's proceedings remotely. Are there any reports of committee? Councilor Allen.
Thanks, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met this afternoon at 5:30. There were 8 or 9 people in the meeting, including TJ and Pat Burns and Steve Lonergan from the finance team. There were 3 counselors there, Counselor Govan, another counselor, and myself. Oh, was it Counselor Click Bruce? And Counselor Whitfield. I was remote. I was in the car, and TJ was able to read the items. We went through the whole agenda in about 20 or 25 minutes, and everything was well done. No particular issues. Pat Burns may talk about this when he gives his report. This is just a little report he gave me about reserve for contingencies, what we've done with it this year. I asked the question at that meeting, and he produced a report here for me. So if there are any questions on that, I have the information. Thanks to Pat, you brought it. But anyway, our meeting went well, and that's all there is.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Are there any further reports of committee? Councilor Edwards.
On June 1st, the Planning and Economic Development Committee met. Quorum was established by the attendance of President Letterman. Also in attendance was Councilor Allen. We had representatives there from Snap Chef, Loophole Brewery, and Davenport Development. The presentation was primarily presented by Brian Connors of the city's Office of Planning and Economic Development. It was in relation to Snap Chef and Loophole Brewery's interest in developing 5159 Taylor Street in Springfield and their intention to request a TIF from the City's Council for the period of 5 years. This TIF would only be applicable to new growth, and is their intention to expand and utilize the entire building. As it stands right now, the most recent use of the building was as a church, and it is sitting vacant, so this will be new revenues coming in, and the granting of the TIF would actually benefit them and their investment. The second item that was discussed was Davenport Development, which is seeking a HDIF for the property at 169 High Street for the period of 10 years. I'm sorry, the Taylor Street was for a TIF for a period of 5 years. Davenport Development is seeking an HDIP for the property at 169 High Street for a period of 10 years that will allow them to qualify for other tax relief from the state. Details will be presented by Brian Connors at the appropriate time. It was emphasized by myself and Councilor Letterman at that meeting that any TIFs or requests for TIFs from this council should, or any applicant applying for a TIF from this council should be aware of our interest in promoting the goals of the REO, which requires that any contractor doing business and using our dollars be conscious of 35% minorities, 20% females, and 5% veterans, 35% residents, 20% minorities, 6.9% females, and 5% veterans for outreach for and do best efforts for construction. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Edwards. Further reports of committee, Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Elder Affairs Committee met on May 18th at what is now the former Eastfair Mall with the purpose of discussing the possibility of finding a new walking path or walking track for the Walkers Club in Vermont. It was an extremely receptive meeting. Some great ideas were developed, and I have to say that the person that's been walking there the most, Mr. President, has been walking there for 50 years. And so we're currently engaged in this preliminary discussions with the Colorado Conceptual Center to see if we can get them in there in the meantime until a more suitable location is found for them. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila.
Mr. President, my apologies.
Councilor Davila.
Yes, present was Councilor Govan and Councilor Walsh at that meeting. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is not a report. I had a question for Counselor Edwards on his report. I heard 2 of the 3, but who was the brewery loophole? Who was that?
Yes, Loophole Brewery, and
what were they asking for?
they were asking for a TIF, a 5-year deferment on taxes on all new growth once development has started.
Development hasn't started yet?
No, it's presently it's a vacant property that they've acquired that had formerly been a church, so it was not on the tax roll because of its prior use. They are going to look for a deferment of the taxes, and for a period of 5 years, this with 20% increments per year. But the applicable deferment of taxes would only apply for the new growth or for the value of the investment and improvements would be based on. Whereas I believe that's what I believe to be correct.
Okay, I just missed that part. Sorry. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, councilors. Before we go further, it seems we may not be streaming live. So Focus, can you confirm that we're live on YouTube and on public access? Thank you. Are there any further reports of committee? Councilor Fenton.
I don't have a report of committee, but I would like to make a motion that we take the items number 2 and 8 together, if we could, Mr. President.
Yes, at the appropriate time. As soon as we approach those items, we'll take that motion. Are there any further reports of committee? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, call the roll on acceptance of the reports.
On accepting the reports of committee, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan. Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The reports are accepted. Madam Clerk, please call item 1.
Item 1 is the April revenue versus expenditure report.
Mr. Burns.
Thank you, Mr. President. Patrick Burns, Comptroller, 90 Clement Street, Springfield. Tonight I'm presenting the April revenue versus expenditure report. This represents the first 10 months of the fiscal year, or 83.3%. You can see our revenue is at 86%, so it's approximately 3% ahead, which is mostly being driven by the timing of our property tax billing, which we bill 100% due by May 1st, so you'll see that amount is at 90%. On the expenditure side, we're at 79%, which is slightly below. Driving factor there is the school department, the timing of their teachers' pay. Several teachers are paid over 26 pay periods, and those pay periods are paid over the summer, but the expense is charged to the FY23 appropriation.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. Are there any questions on the report? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll to accept the report.
On accepting the report, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. I did have a question.
Certainly.
Is it too late?
Nope, we'll suspend the roll call. Counselor Whitfield?
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. I know that Counselor Allen said that you had reported on free cash. Is this the appropriate time to let us know what it was spent on in our balance?
Certainly, Counselor Allen's question was on a reserve for contingency account, and
Okay.
there's two orders tonight, two transfers out of reserve for contingencies, one for $10,000 and one for $8,000, and this is going to leave a balance of $276,789 in the reserve for contingency account. Counselor Allen had asked for a breakdown of what it had been spent on thus far this fiscal year, and I can email that to all the counselors. I just wanted to make sure the report that I gave him was what he was looking for before I sent it to the rest of the council.
Gotcha. But so the free cash from FY 22 or FY 23, certified free cash, do you have the balance for that?
Yes, the FY22 certified free cash balance is currently $28,091,479.91.
Okay, so $28 million left of free cash, and how much did we start off with in FY 22?
67.4.
67.4 million. Pat, if you don't mind, can you please send a breakdown of that as well, with the reserve for the contingency on where that has been spent? I know you come to city council for approval, but just can't remember it. So if you could send that as well, that'd be great.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Whitfield. Are there any further questions on the revenue versus expenditure report? Seeing none, before we take the roll, let the record reflect that Counselor Davila has transitioned from virtual participation and is present in the chamber. Madam Clerk, without objection, please call the roll on acceptance of the report.
Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Can you repeat that, Counselor Hurst?
I think you forgot me.
Yes. Sorry, yes.
Okay. Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila. Yes. Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, Madam Clerk, please call Counselor Walsh.
Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes.
Votes are sufficient. The report is accepted. Madam Clerk, please call item 2.
Item 2 is
We're going to do the petitions after this.
Item 2 is to change the property. It's actually a zone change referral. It's a referral vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Can you just read the item out loud so we can
North-
consider it read and referred?
It's for North Side Rutledge Avenue.
And can you confirm this is on for automatic referral?
Yes, it is.
It shall be considered read and referred. On the petitions, Counselor Fenton.
I'd like to make a motion we take items 3 through 8 together. They all involve pretty innocuous underground utility petitions.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, this is a roll call vote on the motion to take items 3 through 8 together. The vote is whether or not to take them together, not on approval of the motions, or not on approval of the petitions themselves. Without objection, please call the roll on Counselor Fenton's motions to take item 3 through 8 together.
On the motion, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The motion carries. Madam Clerk, please call item 3.
Item 3 is Fort Street.
Is there anyone here to speak to this item?
Yes, this is William Porter, General Manager for the Student Prince on 4th Street.
Floor is yours.
We were asking if we could, since the past few years, because of COVID, we were able to close down 4th Street, make it more of a permanent thing between May and November 1st, which we have done without any problems, considering that 4th Street isn't necessarily a major thoroughfare. There's Bridge Street and also Hampton Street that go the same direction, and those are probably more utilized than 4th Street. We do have our neighbor, the Latino Chamber of Commerce, which seems to be, doesn't have a problem with it. And speaking with Andrew, who heads up the Latino Chamber of Commerce, so our neighbors are in tune with that. We're just looking to be able to make 4th Street a viable business. Since COVID, a lot of folks are still looking to eat outdoors. Whether that's just because they enjoy it or because of health concerns with COVID. But we have done the best we can and are in providing a beautiful area for people to come down and enjoy a meal, but also to get people to actually come downtown and enjoy our end of the town here and provide a place for folks to go in Springfield.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions on the Fort Street petition? Councilor Davila?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, sir. What timetable are you looking to close the street? What are the months that you said?
We've been doing it usually the beginning of May until the end of October. Usually we have everything done and put away, cleared off by November 1st.
Right, and I have to say that I seen it myself, and it's good for the city. It gives a good vista and a good feeling to the city. But just walk me through it. So if we close it, what about the upkeeper of the street? Who's going to be? I'm sure you're going to be doing your part, but what about the other parts?
We actually do that.
The whole
And
street?
we do have some help from the bid, but we actually upkeep the street. Every day we're out there, we're cleaning up whatever mess there happens to be over the weekend. We sweep it, we weed it. We're out there with leaf blowers every day. I take pride in it myself that we're going to keep this street clean from one end to the other, from Main Street to Columbus Avenue.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Hurst?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a quick question. How long has this been closed down for already?
A few weeks. Yeah, we started it in sometime in May. I don't know the exact date, but it's been a few weeks. And maybe this is not a question for you, maybe it's a question for the law department. It's been closed for a couple of weeks, and you're coming to close it down now, and you're saying you closed it last year also? Well, with the COVID restrictions, we were able to do the outdoor dining, which we've had for the past few years since COVID. We haven't had any problems. People seem to enjoy it, and I think it really beautifies the area and the street. You've seen it.
Mm. And we've closed the entire street down last year.
Correct.
And we're able to do that because of and again, this may be a question for the attorney, we're able to do that because of the COVID regulations that I'd imagine this council approved. Maybe that's a question for Attorney Shea.
Probably is.
Did this come before us last year?
I don't believe so.
Attorney Shea? Is Attorney Shea on the line, Mr. President?
Councilor Hurst, I actually do not see Attorney Shea present virtually or in person at this time.
So we don't have any attorney present.
Does not appear that at this time there is an attorney present.
I guess my question to you, Councilor Letterman, or President Letterman, is how might we handle this? Because I have some significant concerns, and I mean, is this what normally happens, that we just close streets down and then folks come before the city council after they've already closed the street down and ask for our approval? I don't know if this is the process, but if this is the process, then for me, this is problematic. I assume that we as a body had control over the streets, and if folks are circumventing the process, we all should have a problem. And we also ought to know.
I don't think we circumvented the process, because there was an application process that we had to do this. I went before Planning Board, DPW, Liquor Commission, and we had a meeting, and I've been to a virtual meeting with the Liquor Commission also. So I wasn't a fact of just making it happen and just doing it on our own. We've gone through the proper channels to do it. I'm not sure how the communication between each department works. That's not my place, and how that works with you and the city council. But as far as I know, we did our due diligence to make sure we did it right, and including approval from the ABC from the state. So I'm not sure how it works on your level, but I'm just saying on our level. And I should know, because I went through the whole process. We filled out the application the way it should be filled out and presented it to Law Office, Liquor Commission. And like I said, I went through met with every department to make sure that they had their approval also.
So why are you here before us?
I'm not sure. I was
just
just told to be here, so that's why.
Fair enough. I'd imagine that you need our approval. And if you need our approval, but the street has already been closed down.
But I think the approval that
what
we're
good is
talking
our
about
approval?
more, what we're talking about, our approval is for the future to make it more of a permanent thing. I think that's where we're at right now. Do we go through this whole application every year, or do we say, okay, the port is able to take over Ford Street from May to November 1st every year, as opposed to going through the application process? I think that's what we're here to speak to.
I appreciate your perspective. Mr. President, I'd like to know definitively, and until I know definitively, I certainly can't vote in favor of it, and I don't think any of my colleagues ought to vote in favor of it either. I know there are probably some other businesses that would like to close their streets down, and I'm not necessarily against that. I actually think it would make the downtown much more walkable if we close more streets down. But to do it in isolation and maybe to not look at it from a comprehensive perspective, to me it could be a slippery slope, and it ought to be something that we ought to pay a bit more, pay some closer attention to. So if I'd like to make a motion to send this item to committee, and hopefully get a perspective from our attorney, which I'm absolutely confused is not on the meeting tonight. So that's my motion, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Hurst. Councilor Hurst has made a motion to send this item to committee. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion was seconded by Councilor Davila. On the motion, is there any discussion? Councilor Davila, followed by Councilor Curran.
Thank you, Mr. President.
My hand's raised too, Mr. President, just so you know, it's been raised.
Mr. President, I have no problem of yielding to Councilor Whitfield after.
Councilor Whitfield, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Councilor Davila, I appreciate it. And Councilor President, yeah, I'm completely confused as well, because I know that we're blocking off the street for one day, and we had to go through quite a bit to make that happen. And So I'm a little bit confused. I don't even know why Bill is here, honestly. I don't know if permanently closing off a street or for a time requires city council approval. I just want to, can I ask him a question, Mr. President?
If it's related to the motion, Councilor Whitfield, yes.
Yes. Bill, who advised you to come to city council today?
I have no idea. All I had was a message that I should be speaking to city council, and I was on the docket, and they sent me the link, and I'm here.
You have no idea who sent you that message that you should be here today?
I believe it was from the city councilor's office.
The city councilor's office? Okay. Yeah, I'm just a little bit confused too, Bill. Nothing personal or anything, but
Hector the Villette sent us the link.
Hector, you're here, so can you give us some oversight as to why Bill is here?
Yes. Well, I don't know the complete history, but they request, instead of going every year to the permit process that DPW give to the restaurant, student Prince, I think they requested to, instead of going every year to the process, they've been just keep the process and go and close from May to November every year without the process of permit.
Oh, so they're trying to make it a permanent permit request to close the street every year from a certain time to a certain time.
Yeah, it's gonna be, it's not a discontinue, it's gonna be a public way, it's not gonna be a discontinue. I don't know the process for the permit. I think it's been done since 2020. And I think they requested just to keep all the process and the paperwork every year.
Oh, so usually they come every year for this? And now?
Since COVID, yeah.
Oh, since COVID, since 2022? Okay, I'm sorry, 2020. Sorry, yeah, I still would need to know the process, so I will vote to send this to committee. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Just for Councilor's information, Attorney Shea will be joining momentarily. On the motion, Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill, I'm sorry, you said you're the manager, correct?
Correct.
So, Bill, so that you know at least where I'm coming from and the good people of the city who is watching. I love the idea. It's a great idea. It's a great establishment. But there's a due process, and I too have some questions, and the more I hear, the more questions I have. So let me ask you, I'm going to try to keep some of my questions to a minimum here, but are you planning to expand the number of tables or chairs?
Not necessarily. I think we're at where our max is right now.
Okay. Please correct me if I'm mistaken. Weren't you guys recipients recently of outdoor dining grant?
Yes.
You were a recipient of the most recent ARPA outdoor dining grant. And how much was that for, sir?
That is not in my wheelhouse. That's my ownership probably knows better than me, and what the application process was that they went through. That's probably not a question for me. I just run the restaurant.
Well, you're the only one here, so.
Oh, I know, but
Got you. But Bill,
kind of a different thing that we're talking about.
yeah, I understand you don't know exactly the amount, but, and I might be mistaken, Bill, but somehow 250,000 sounds, it's in my head somewhere. I might be mistaken, but so the point is that with that money, you are not planning, or with any money, to increase the number of tables outside, correct?
Not
So in other words,
necessarily, but there may be plans to increase that and also replace some of the tables that we've had because they've been here for 3 years and they kind of took a beating. So little upgrade wouldn't hurt either.
I'm sorry, Bill, it seems like the audio is a little funky. What did you say?
It said that we may increase some of the tables or amount of tables that we have, but the tables that we do have currently have been out there for 3 years in weather and they have taken some abuse. So it's time to definitely upgrade all that outdoor furniture that we have right now.
Wait, Bill, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding you correctly because the audio is a little weird. Are you saying that you're going to replace a table, not add extra tables?
We may add extra tables. That's not totally out of the realm of building our business, but also we want to look at replacing some of the tables, well, maybe probably all the tables that we have because of the abuse they've taken over the past few years, being in weather, heat, rain, etc.
Correct. And what's the fee that the city is charging you for operating outside?
I have no idea.
How long you been the manager, Bill?
I've been here for 8 years.
Bill, it's not my intention to seem like I'm pounding on you, my good sir. But I do have questions. You mean to tell me you've been there for 8 years, you've been doing this since 2020, and you don't know how much you are paying for a very good size.
Hey, I realized I never got the agenda, so when you have a minute, would you send me
Mr. President,
the agenda pieces?
Attorney Shea, Attorney Shea, your microphone is open. Please mute yourself. Counselor Davila, we're on the motion to committee.
Correct, yes. Thank you, sir. We lost the video with Bill here. I don't know what happened.
Bill is present. It's currently displaying
thank you,
Attorney
thank you.
Shea's blank video.
Correct. Thank you, Mr. President. So, Bill, can you hear me, my good sir?
I can hear you.
Thank you, Bill. So, before I was interrupted, so going back, you telling me you don't know how much you pay in the city?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to put that out there early. Again, I'll go back to my initial statement. I like the plan. I hope it can go through. But there's this little concept of fairness that I really, really, really like. And I know that people watching at home also really, 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 really like. And I'm sitting here and I'm telling you and all the powers to be that I am a little concerned that you guys got all this, it appears that you might get all this money. You may or may not increase the amount of tables. We don't know how much you're paying. It seems like a very sweet deal. You know, it's, I don't know. I feel very uncomfortable with that. But do we have Hector on the? Bill, thank you, sir.
Councilor Davila, Hector is here, but we are on a motion to committee.
Right,
So our dialogue and debate should be on the motion to committee prior to our taking up the motion to committee.
All right, I understand that. The reason I asked, Mr. President, is because I agree, the process, that I'm trying to ask for the process, because the more I hear about this, the more questions I have. Hector, do we have a process? Because in other occasions, I have heard people from other nearby areas that want to do something similar, and it's basically an act of God to get it closed, to get the street closed. And so all of a sudden we have this here, nobody seems to know anything about it, and I'm just confused. So speaking of the process, can you restate to me, do we have a process, what the process may look like?
Well, to close the street, this is the first time that the Board of Public Works worked with the closing of the street. They send the petition, like William Porter sent the petition to the Board of Public Works, and I just go with the process of the Board of Public Works to do the hearing on site and send it to the City Council, or the board recommend to the City Council and send the petition to approve or
Right, and my last question on this subject is, so my understanding is they want to do this from May through October, so they don't have to keep going back to you guys for a yearly approval, correct?
That's my understanding, yeah.
Okay, and is there a time limit on this, or is it going to be forever?
William Porter don't explain me very well, but I think it's gonna be forever. It's something that is not clear really in the petition because they don't say it's gonna be I think to 6 months
Right,
for
okay.
not go through the process, but
Thank you, Hector. Mr. President, again, I hope this goes forward. I hope that this happens. I do have several questions, but I will say publicly, I got questions, and there's no way, absolutely no way that I'm going to sit here and vote to keep something forever closed. It's just not happening in my book. With that being said, I hope that we can come to some sensible agreement and discuss the process, because I am concerned that I have heard other complaints from other establishments near this location that have tried to do the same, and it appears that, I don't know who, I don't know what has happened, that it will take an act of God for that to happen. So again, I like the concept of fairness, and those are my comments, and I thank you, Mr. President, for your due diligence, sir.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Curran on the motion.
I'm going to vote against the motion. I mean, we have to vote on this matter, the city council before us. The gentleman, the petitioner, has gone through the planning board, he's gone through DPW. I think it's pretty clear what he's asking for. He's asking for outdoor dining, which has been a great success for downtown Springfield. I think it's made a destination for downtown Springfield. I'm not quite sure what the debate is. We can discuss the merits of it, but why send it to committee? I mean, that's just really, in my opinion, we're really being somewhat obstructionist on this matter. I do think that it's kind of a clear-cut case. He does need a council vote. We're here to vote on it. I mean, we can debate the merits of it, but it's pretty clear. He wants to continue what he's been doing for the last couple of years, and it's been a great success for downtown Springfield, and I think he's made 4th Street, a destination for Western Massachusetts. Matter of fact, maybe we could use this success he's had on 4th Street to other venues such as Worthington Street. But again, I don't think there's a need to put this to committee. It's not that complicated of an issue. Why not debate it here, and why not take a vote? So I'm opposed to sending it to committee.
Thank you, Councilor Curran. Councilor Allen on the motion.
Thanks, Mr. President. I agree with Councilor Hurst. I think we've got a great business that has a proposal to do outside dining, which we all seem to be in favor of. We just don't have everybody in this meeting tonight that we need in order to answer the questions as to how this got here tonight and who was advocating on the DPW side, et cetera. So it seems to me this is, we're putting the onus on the business manager, who clearly just came here to try to advocate for their business, and it's becoming more than that. So I would suggest that putting it in committee is the right thing to do, and we've got another meeting a week from tonight. If we moved it quickly, we could talk about this again a week from tonight, and we might have a chance for Councilor Shea or Attorney Shea to weigh in on it, and anyone else who was part of this proposal. So I'm agreeing with Councilor Hurst that this should go to committee.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Councilor Perez on the motion.
Well, I just have a question. Is this have been done in the past, or this is a new issue coming forward for permanently? And if it's not permanently, what are the permits saying? What are we voting on? And that's why I'm kind of confused. Because I was trying to look for some readings, and I don't have none in terms of the permanently or even the closing. So on that base, I don't think going to committee, discussing it, I won't send it. I'm against sending it to committee. I'm just want some from the legal department, some clarification, and base of making my decision, what's the next step? Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Councilor Hurst on your motion.
Oh my goodness, my hand has been up.
I'll defer to Councilor
So Councilor Whitfield, and to all councilors, so I attempt to call on everybody in the order that I see their hands go up. I also attempt to enforce our rule that states that councilors that have not yet spoken will speak before councilors are heard again. So I did see Councilor Hurst, and it was his motion, so I was just circling back to Councilor Hurst. I plan to call on Councilor Whitfield following Councilor Hurst. So at this time, I've recognized Councilor Hurst on his motion.
I guess I'm a bit confused by, back to your response. You don't know what this gentleman is asking us for today? You're not clear yourself? And you don't, in fact, you don't even have to answer the question. I guess, let me make a statement. Because you don't have to dwell upon this, but if something is put on the city council agenda and it went through the traffic commission or your commission or something that you have jurisdiction over, it seems to me that we ought to be clear in terms of what the petitioner is asking for. And this to me seems something a lot more significant than some of the other petitions that come forward to the city council. And so, I guess I'm just hopeful in the future that, that when things like this come before us, that the folks that have been involved in this have a clear understanding as to what it is that the petitioner is asking the council to do. And then just for the record, Mr. President, if maybe Attorney Shea can get to myself and maybe the rest of the body, what jurisdiction does the city council have over these closings and why it's actually coming before us or why it must come before us? Because if they're operating, and they should, if this street is already closed, which I know it is because I saw the bus blocking it off for the press conference that I was at the other day, and it was supposed to come before the council first, I have an even bigger problem with what is occurring right now. And if we're making exceptions for certain businesses in the city of Springfield, then that is also equally as problematic. And so I'm hopeful that that's not the case, but I also don't know the rules and regs and the guidelines and what it is that we have authority over. And so I'd like to have that information, Attorney Shea or Mr. Velez, before I decide on this next week.
Thank you, Councilor Hurst. Councilor Whitfield.
Mr. President?
I'm sorry, Councilor Whitfield. Councilor Fenton?
I'm in the chamber. I'd like to be heard.
I understand, but I've recognized Councilor Whitfield. Councilor Whitfield, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think that we should vote on moving it to committee because we could get all of these answers in committee. It is our responsibility as a city councilor to do our due diligence in understanding what is happening with petitions and the information that's being presented to us. We don't know what's going on. The person from DPW doesn't know what's going on. The manager from Fort Street doesn't know what's going on, but we want to just move this to approval? That makes no sense to me, logically, no sense at all. I don't think any of us went to that Public Works meeting. I could keep reading this language and I don't understand who the petition is coming from. Is it coming from Fort Street or is it coming from Verizon for Sullivan Street? And then all of these now, therefore it be ordered, all of these conditions. I don't know what any of this means. And so I think it would be in the best interest of the council to get a fair and clear understanding on what's happening here. And folks can shake their head and do what they want on camera. I'm saying what I'm saying. And I just think as city councilors, we're supposed to do our due diligence. I haven't seen a situation like this since I've been on the council. where we're closing streets. And I know the process just to close a street for one day was a lot. And so to permanently close something year after year after year with no expiration date, and I'm not sure that the abutters got the notice, although it said it was sent out, or if they even understand what's happening on the street. So I'm gonna vote to move this to committee, and the amount that the fort received in ARPA was about $179,000. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield, Councilor Brown, followed by Councilor Allen, and then we will continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like, I don't know as far as what my colleagues might and might not understand, but I 100 and probably 80% understand exactly what the petitioner is asking for. What happens is, just like if an individual went to get a liquor license and things like that, this is something that wouldn't come before the city council. So what they're doing as far as the different licensing and things that occur, they're actually applying for permits and requests that doesn't come before the city council, but it's something that they're required to do maybe every year or every 2 years. What they want to do now is just not have that come about. They want us, as a city councilor saying, you know what, instead of going and filling this paperwork out every single year, all we're asking you as a body, if you guys will let us do it, we don't have to do it. We can just always do it when May come around till October. We don't have to fill out that paperwork. They wouldn't come to us because people who want liquor license, people who want to close the streets down, they do not come in front of the city council. So it's nothing malicious that was done. It was not a process. So now they are in front of the body because they want to skip the process where they don't have to fill it out every year. That's it. I don't believe that it needs to go to committee. It's just a matter of if we say yes or no. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Brown, Councilor Allen, followed by Councilor Fenton.
I didn't mean to get your attention,
Okay.
so I'm all
Councilor
set,
Fenton.
thank you.
Councilor Walsh.
Yes, I was just wondering if we had an opinion from our city solicitor, from Attorney Shea.
Attorney Shea?
Well, at this point, there seems to be a valid question, and I would really have to look into it. Who has the authority to close a street down? Now, it seems there might be one authority if it's a temporary close, like you're closing it for a 1 or 2 day event. It's another if you're closing it probably for a long term. And as Councilor Whitfield pointed out, I mean, the abutters should have been involved in this. So I would really like to investigate the issue and get a straight answer so that the council will have an answer for this issue and for those going forward. And it's not something that I could give a clear answer here tonight. Listening to the discussion, I would think that the time that it would take to send it to committee and get an answer within the week would be a wiser move. If it seems everyone, including myself, is somewhat confused now as to exactly where does this authority come from. I mean, I can't imagine that you could close a street permanently, or even, you know, every year in the month of May, we get to shut this street down and we don't have to do anything other than to announce that's what we're going to do because we have a business on that street. So I would appreciate it if we get some time to get a straight answer so we do it right.
Thank you. That information is very helpful.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Councilor Whitfield, I did see your hand, but it seems to have disappeared. Did you have further comment?
Nope, I think Attorney Shea clarified it. Our attorney don't understand. The business owner doesn't understand. The DPW representative doesn't understand. But folks think that we should just approve this anyway. That, to me, seems like something going on in the back door room. So I'm still going to vote to send it to committee.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Is there any further discussion on the motion to refer the item to committee? Seeing none, Councilor Davila.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. President. I apologize. I believe Council Fenton he was before me. I don't know if he wants to.
I thank you very much, Councilor Davila. I don't want to speak anymore on the subject.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Councilor Fenton. Mr. President, just to point out, looking here at the paperwork, the letter that the student prince sent himself, signed by, I believe it's Bill himself, William Porter, Mr. William Porter, it says May 1st through November 1st. Just to put that on the record, we were told, if I heard him correctly, say May through October. And so, again, I hope this goes through. I love the concept. You know, I've been there myself quite several times. It's a great establishment. But I'm sorry, I don't care who doesn't like it. Fairness is fairness. It seems like we have more questions than answers. At least I do. And so, you know, let's do our due diligence and look this out and get all the wrinkles out and make it happen. But I do have, I said this early, Mr. President, I do have concerns of adding more tables onto that location, because in essence, we're expanding the business, but we will get to that part at the due time. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Brown on the motion.
Just real quick, thank you, Mr. President. Just to clarify, I don't really believe, like I said, once again, I think it's just a matter of yes or no. Would I personally recommend shutting down a whole, giving a person the ability to shut down a whole street without going through due diligence? No, I don't. But I also don't think it needs to drag out. It's either a yes or no. Actual question, yes or no. Are you going to do it? Let them do it and skip it? I don't believe we should do it, but I don't believe we need to keep talking about it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Is there any further discussion on the motion to committee? Seeing none. Without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the motion to send this item to committee.
On the motion to committee, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
No.
No, Councilor Perez.
No.
No, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
No.
No, Councilor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
No.
No, Councilor Curran.
No.
No, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The item will be referred to the Maintenance and Development Committee. Madam Clerk, please call item 4. And before you do that, we did have a previous motion to take petitions together. So absent number 3 and absent further motions, 4 and 8 are still coming together per our previous vote. Madam Clerk, please call item 4.
Item 4 is Eversource, Lyman Street.
Is there anyone here to speak to this petition?
Yes, Hector Brother from DPW Springfield.
Mr. Velez, the floor is yours.
Well, Lyman Street is a request from Eversource. The state building on Dwight Street is going to do some construction and request to Eversource to move the switchgear on the parking lot. They're going to install a conduit 4 inches from Lyman, from a manhole on Lyman, around 32 feet to the new location of the gear switch on the parking lot of the building.
Thank you, Mr. Velez. Are there any questions on item 4? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call item 5.
Item 5 is Eversource Gas for Haskins Street.
Yeah, it's Hector Velez again.
The floor is yours.
I don't know if Ryan is here, but they're gonna replace the cast iron main to a plastic. It's gonna be in the area of Pine Point, a section of Haskins, Pierce Street, Gladstone, and Hood Street, and they're gonna update to medium pressure.
Thank you, Mr. Velez. Are there any questions on item 5? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call item 6.
Item 6 is Comcast on Brown Street.
Is there anyone here to speak to this item?
Yes, Hector Velez.
Mr. Velez, the floor is yours.
Brown? I'm sorry, Mr. President. Comcast is gonna, for a new service on the 4042 Brown Street, they're gonna bring some 100 from the corner of Jail and Princeton to Brown Street to provide service to the house 4042 Brown Street.
Thank you, Mr. Velez. Are there any questions on item 6? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call item 7.
Item 7 is Eversource Gas for Canterbury Road.
Mr. Velez?
I'm sorry, Mr. President. Eversource Gas is requesting to install and replace the gas item to a plastic one. It's going to be 2 inches from Allen Street all the way to the end of Canterbury Road. And it's going to be updated to medium pressure.
Thank you, Mr. Velez. Are there any questions on item 7? Councilor Perez?
I just have a question. Is anyone from Eversource here present? Because I'm seeing the changes that they're doing with the cast iron, and I'm not knowledgeable of that, but I wish to know what's the impact when it comes to the community by doing so. So I probably it's a statement for tonight, but I surely wanted to have someone that has the expertise that I don't have that could answer those questions. Thank you, Mr. President, for further information for the future, because I am concerned.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. I do not know if there is a representative of Eversource specifically present. Mr. Velez, are you representing all of the petitions, or is there an Eversource representative on the line?
I think so. There's Ryan M. I don't know if that's from Eversource Gas. There's a Ryan on Eversource Gas. But I don't know. I'm not sure if that the person or not. But it's supposed to be a representative from Eversource Gas.
Mr. President?
Yes, Councilor Perez.
And the issue that I caution on this matter is because we went through a big explosion, and I would like to have more understanding of what is it that I'm voting on for the safety of the community when it comes to the pressure. What does entail the pressure? So I don't know how we're gonna handle this, but I am very concerned. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Are there any further questions or discussion on item 7? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call item 8.
Item 8 is Eversource for Jefferson Ave.
Mr. Velez?
That's a petition from Eversource. They're going to move a light pole, DPW creator parking, Jefferson and Main Street in the north end. It's near the Medina, and request to Eversource to move the light pole closest to Main Street, and they're going to install a new light pole around 25 feet from the original location.
Thank you, Mr. Velez. Are there any questions on item 8? See no questions on item 8.
You can see my hand this time, Mr. President.
I'm sorry, Councilor Whitfield. I had scrolled down on the list to see Councilor Perez's name. Go ahead.
Item, but it was, who is Ryan M. and why, if they work for Eversource, couldn't they answer what Councilor Perez was asking? Who's Ryan M.? Like, we gotta on here.
I have Ryan Matthew. I think it's Ryan Matthew worked from Eversource, but I don't know if that Ryan M is from Eversource Gas or who is that person.
And they might just be here, sitting here, but we want to know who you are.
Ryan M., could you identify yourself, and could you let us know if you are a representative of Eversource?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I was having audio issues trying to speak earlier. Yes, I'm a representative for Eversource Gas. What was the question that was asked previously.
Thank you, Ryan. We can hear you, but you are a little bit muffled. If you're on a phone, if you could speak directly into your phone's microphone, that will make it a little clearer for us here in the chamber. So could you just identify yourself one more time so we can try to get your audio right?
Yeah, my name is Ryan Mayhew with Eversource Gas. Is that any clearer?
Okay, Council Perez, it looks like we do have a representative of Eversource if you wanted to ask your question relative to the changes in pipe.
Yeah, the concern that I have, Mr. Ryan, is that I have seen various agenda today of changing to cast iron. And when it speaks about the mid-pressure, I'm not an expert in that area. What's the impact? And the concern that I'm bringing forward is that I am very concerned because we had a big explosion, here in Springfield, and I see all this cast iron changing, and I hear the word mid-pressure. What does mid-pressure stand for, and how does it benefit the community? Thank you very much.
Okay, so I guess what you mean is medium pressure, which is 60 psi T in the gas main. Currently, a lot of Springfield is low pressure. It's much lower, and there's about 14 inches of water column. There's a state program called GSEP that we go around replacing all the aging infrastructure, which is cast iron and wrought iron steel. It's very old. It's prone to leaks, it's damaged, it corrodes. So we have a state program, GSEP, where we replace the existing gas mains and replace it with new, modern, medium pressure plastic. The medium pressure will allow neighborhoods to run on the current system, be up to code and regulations. It doesn't have that corrosion effect. It'll last a lot longer in the ground. And a lot of the neighborhoods they risk low pressure and possibly outages with these low pressure systems. So basically the past 10 years or so, Eversource has been replacing all of the aging cast iron that's currently in the ground.
Thank you, Councilor Perez.
Yeah, Mr. President, thank you. So my question to you will be, this changing all this cast iron is not to be impacted with the issue that we have right now with the gas company and the pipeline, correct? It does have no issue when it comes to that issue?
I'm not familiar with which specific issue you're referring to, but...
Oh, yeah, right now with the city, the Springfield Justice Coalition, Environment has an issue with the pipelines that is being developed, and one of the questions by the constituents to me was, for tonight, is this has to have any part doing with the issue that right now we are looking from the environmental perspective?
It was not brought to my attention, as far as I can say that, these upgrades to the neighborhood, Haskins Street and Canterbury has no impact.
So it has not brought to your attention. Mr. President, I will look for directions from your point of view, because I will surely want to answer back to my constituents when they ask me that question.
Councilor Perez, because I'm presiding over the chamber, I can't speak specifically on the issue. I do see Councilor I do have perspective on the issue, but I see Councilor Govan has her hand up, so I'm going to see if she would like to share some perspective that will perhaps answer your question. And should it not, I believe that I can answer your question, but I would need to step down. Councilor Govan.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Councilor Perez, I think are you talking about the Springfield Climate Justice Coalition fight against the pipeline that is being built from East Longmeadow all the way to the north end of Springfield?
Correct, and the question, it was a basic question.
Right.
Does this impact what the Climate Justice Coalition is doing of the prevention of this pipeline at this point? And it's a clear question, yes or no, and that's why I was requesting someone from Eversource to answer that question. Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Eversource representative, I'm sorry, I did not get your name. So the question is, I don't believe so, but what is happening in these items on the agenda, they don't have anything to do with the new pipeline that is being built. Is that correct?
That was my question. That was my question at the beginning. But he was saying that he had no knowledge of it. So that was the concern that I was having, because it was a yes or no question. Very clear. So if it's for the record, is yes, it does not impact, it's fine with me. But that was the question I was searching for. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Are there any further questions relative to items 4 through 8 prior to our vote? Seeing none, Mr. Velez, I see that you have your hand up. Did you have something further to add on the petitions? Okay. Seeing none from Mr. Velez, Councilor Whitfield?
No, I'm sorry. I had noticed the same thing as you, Mr. President, and I apologize.
No. Much appreciated, Councilor Whitfield. Are there any further questions or discussion relative to items 4 through 8? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on approval of items 4 through 8.
On approving the petitions, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click-Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient and the petitions are approved. Madam Clerk, please call item 9.
Item 9 is the Mass in Motion Grant Award, no match required, in the amount of $279,610.
Is there anyone here to speak to this item?
Mr. President, I'm here if no one is in the chamber to speak to the grant.
Yes, Ms. Hackett, that seems to be the case, so we'll recognize you at this time.
Okay, thank you. Lindsay Hackett, Deputy CAFO, 80 Tamarack Drive in Springfield. This Mass in Motion grant has been awarded to the Health Department. It is a competitive grant. HHS has received it for several years for the Mass in Motion program. The purpose of the grant is for policy systems and change strategies to create healthy environments and to reduce overweight, the population of overweight, obesity, chronic disease, and associated risk factors.
Thank you, Ms. Hackett. Does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, I'm sorry. The amount is $279,000 and it is for fiscal year 24.
Thank you, Deputy CAFO. Are there any questions on item 9? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll to accept the grant.
On accepting the grant, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click-Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The grant is accepted. Madam Clerk, please call item 10.
Item 10 is FY24, FY25 Tobacco Control Grant, no match required, in the amount of $243,364.
Deputy Capo?
Thank you. This is a tobacco control program grant also awarded to the Health Department in the amount of $243,364. This will cover 2 fiscal years. The award will be split, the funding will be split over 2 fiscal years. And the tobacco control program is responsible for promoting health quality, addressing health inequities. Also, the program allows for to ensure local retailers adhere to the tobacco control ordinance, and it educates local tobacco retailers by conducting regular on-site inspections where signs are provided to each establishment. And the grant supports the salary of a program coordinator and covers the fringe benefits for the employee. And they also may hire a consultant or an intern to aid in the compliance and inspections of the retail stores.
Thank you, Ms. Hackett. Are there any questions? Councilor Fenton?
Thank you. Lindsay, do you know if the age to purchase tobacco in the city is 21 or is it 18?
I don't know.
I've noticed in some surrounding cities and towns, they've reduced the age substantially. Most recently, I noticed South Hadley going down to 18. So whoever is the recipient of this grant, if it's the health department, I'd ask that we...
I have a note here, actually, I'm sorry. Okay, the Springfield Tobacco Control Program exists to ensure that local retailers adhere to the tobacco control ordinance and Massachusetts state laws. And these laws were enacted mainly to protect our youths and young adults below the minimum purchase age of 21 for illegal purchases of tobacco products.
I would make a motion, Mr. President, that we refer this to committee in interest of exploring reducing the age to 18.
Councilor Fenton's made a motion to refer the grant to committee. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Brown. Is there any discussion on the motion?
I said that backwards. Increasing the age to 21 from 18. Did she say it was 21? Was
Councilor
the age?
Fenton, it is 21, and we passed legislation a few years ago to raise it as well.
So, Lindsay, you said 21 is the age to purchase tobacco in Springfield under what you just read?
Yes, yes.
I withdraw my motion.
Thank you, Councilor Fenton. Councilor Whitfield, was your comment on the motion or on the grant?
Yeah, because I was just going to comment that we did a lot of work in Springfield and with the youth of Springfield going to the State House to increase that age to 21. So that would be like going backwards. But thank you, Councilor Fenton, for withdrawing the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield and Councilor Fenton. Are there any further questions on item 10? Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Lindsay, did you say that this grant also includes outreach and education to the businesses themselves that sell tobacco?
Yes, it does.
I'm very glad to hear that. And I think maybe my humble suggestion would be to emphasize that the sale of what is called loosies, it's very legal here in the city. I know we have had a problem in the city, and I know in my own district we're having some issues with that. Some of the bodegas selling loosies quite discreetly and very lucrative. So I'm going to be voting in favor of this, Lindsay, but maybe you could pass this on to the powers to be that, at least in my mind, in my world, I would love to see special emphasis the prohibition of selling loosies or single cigarettes here in the city of Springfield. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Is there any further discussion on the grant? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on acceptance.
On accepting the grant, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman?
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The grants are accepted. Members, items 11 through 15 are under $50,000. According to our rules, they can be taken together. So, Madam Clerk, if you could read items 11 through 15.
Item 11 is for an FY23 veterinarian grant from the Foundation for TJO Animals. No match required in the amount of $45,887. Item number 12 is a Vet Tech 2 grant from the Foundation for TJO Animals. No match required in the amount of $28,282.48. Item number 13 is a Vet Tech 1 grant from the Foundation for TJO Animals. No match required in the amount of $23,215.75. Item number 14 is FY23 CSEP grant, increase, no match required in the amount of $13,218. And item number 15 is a Mass League Staff Appreciation Fund grant in the amount of $6,157.21.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there questions on any of these items? Seeing none. Without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on acceptance of grants items 11 through 15.
On accepting grants 11 through 15, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient and the grants are accepted. Madam Clerk, please call item 16.
Item 16 is an order authorizing the mayor to execute a quitclaim deed for sale of Southside Quincy Street to Raymond C. Banks.
Is there anyone here to speak for this item? Please state your name and address for the record.
Robert Demusis, 33 Colorado Street, Springfield, Mass., from the city's Office of Housing.
Floor is yours.
Sorry?
The floor is yours.
Are we on 16?
Yes, sir. Item 16.
On a butter lot sale to the owner-occupied neighbor, Mr. Banks. We put it out to the three abutters. We sent applications to the three abutters. Mr. Banks, the owner-occupant, applied, as well as an investor owner on the opposite side. The committee voted that it makes more sense. Mr. Banks has a very small lot, and that it makes more sense to give it to the owner-occupant. He also demonstrated he's more invested in the lot. He's had a garden there, unofficial garden there, for many years. And it's an unbuildable lot, and it just makes all the sense in the world to award it to Mr. Banks.
Thank you, Mr. Demusis. Are there any questions on item 16? Seeing none. Without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on executing the quitclaim deed. Two-thirds majority vote is required.
On the order, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The order is approved. Madam Clerk, please call item 17.
Item 17 is an order authorizing the mayor to execute a quitclaim deed for sale of Southside Pine Street.
Mr. Demusis?
This is not an abutter lot sale, but it functions the same. As part of an RFP for several vacant lots, the city included this parcel with the condition that only the abutters would be allowed to submit proposals. There are three abutters here. One is the Springfield Housing Authority. Another is a vacant lot that's long in tax title, and the city will likely own it soon. And the third is from an LLC controlled by James Morrissey. He was the only respondent. It's not a buildable lot. He will combine it with his lot. He'll maintain it as green space, and as soon as the closing, he will fence the two lots, creating the new parcel. Very small, narrow street, postage stamp of a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Demusis. Are there any questions on the order? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on approving the order.
On approving the order, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The order is approved. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Councilors.
Demusis. Madam Clerk, item 18, please.
Item 18 is DPW GF overtime account to DPW GF vehicle supplies accessories in the amount of $120,000.
Ms. Hackett?
Thank you, Mr. President. This order is requesting $120,000 to be transferred from the DPW General Fund overtime line to the DPW Enterprise Fund Vehicle Supplies and Accessories line. This is just due to a deficit due to spending in that account throughout the fiscal year.
Thank you, Ms. Hackett. Are there any questions on the order? Councilor Davila?
Thank you, Mr. President. Lindsay, sorry. So this is a transfer overtime account to what department? DPW?
Yep, it's just to the Enterprise Fund, DPW's Enterprise Fund for the vehicle maintenance, vehicle supplies and accessories line.
Okay, I'm sorry, so this is for to pay overtime or for the supplies and accessories? I'm a little confused here.
Yep, sure. The deficit is in the supplies and accessories line for vehicles. There's a surplus in the overtime account, so we're moving the money over from one.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I thought it was backwards. Okay, got you. Thank you, Lindsay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Are there any further questions on the order? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on approving the transfer.
On approving the order, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The transfer is approved. Madam Clerk, please call item 19.
Item 19 is for Springfield City Library donations in the amount of $17,500.
Ms. Hackett?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is donations for the Springfield City Libraries totaling $17,500. And this is a total of donations received and awarded to the libraries based from the Friends of the Library.
Thank you, Ms. Hackett. Are there any questions? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll to accept the donation.
On accepting the donation, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient and the donations are accepted. Madam Clerk, please call item 20.
Item 20 is for the Parks Department. It's a donation in the amount of $1,000.
Ms. Hackett?
Thank you. This donation is to the Parks Department in the amount of $1,000. The donor is New Valley Bank and Trust, and this money will be used for the 2023 Forest Park Concert Series.
Thank you, Ms. Hackett. Are there any questions? Seeing none. Without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on accepting the donation.
On accepting the donation, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The donation is accepted. Madam Clerk, please call item 21.
Item 21 is a transfer from reserve for contingencies to the city clerk's office in the amount of $10,000.
Ms. Hackett?
Thank you. So this is a transfer from our reserve for contingency line over to the city clerk's advertising line. This will cover associated costs with upcoming special permits and ordinances that will need to be advertised before June 30th. The additional funding is necessary due to an overall increase in advertising costs.
Thank you, Ms.
And the
Hackett.
$10,000 transfer will bring the total advertising line for FY23 up to $51,873.
Thank you, Ms. Hackett. Are there any questions on the transfer? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. 2/3 majority vote is required.
On approving the order, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The order is approved. Madam Clerk, item 22.
Item 22 is a transfer from reserve for contingencies to the elections office in the amount of $8,000.
Ms. Hackett?
Thank you. This is a transfer from reserve for contingency over to elections, salary and wages in the amount of $8,000. And this is due to the appointment of an acting deputy election commissioner to temporarily help and maintain the department's day-to-day function. And this change did produce a small deficit in the salaries and wages line, which this $8,000 will cover.
Thank you, Ms. Hackett. Are there any questions? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll to approve the transfer. 2/3 majority vote is required.
On approving the order, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The transfer is approved. Madam Clerk, item 23.
Item 23 is for bills of prior year for Health and Human Services in the amount of $183.72.
Ms. Hackett?
Thank you so much. The last order I have tonight is a bill of prior year for the Department of HHS to pay a previous fiscal year's reimbursement to an employee for travel.
Thank you, Ms. Hackett. Are there any questions? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll to approve the bill. 2/3 majority vote is required.
On approving the order, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The order is approved. Madam Clerk, please call item 24.
Item 24 is an ordinance further amending Chapter 270, Section 270-11B of the Code of the City of Springfield, also known as the Pawnbrokers Ordinance.
This item is on for second and third step. Councilor Fenton.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we discussed at our last regular meeting, this item was passed first step last October. We neglected to follow up with second and third step. So at our last meeting, we entertained it again, took first step, and tonight I'm hopeful we can take second and third step. It's to continue the pawnbroker and junk dealer moratorium until June 30th, 2025.
Thank you, Councilor Fenton. Is there any discussion? Councilor Davila.
Yes, question, Mr. President, through the chair, Councilor Fenton. So just to extend the time, there's no substantial change in the ordinance
That's correct.
of requirements? Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Are there any further questions or deliberation by the council? Seeing no further deliberation, Madam Clerk, without objection, please call the roll on approval of the ordinance.
On approval of the ordinance, Councilor Walsh.
Are we taking both steps together?
Yes, I was going to take the 22C step following this vote.
Okay, yes to both.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The ordinance passes. Is there a motion to invoke Rule 22C to allow second and third steps to be considered passed tonight?
Yes.
Motion's been made by Councilor Walsh. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Davila. Is there any discussion on the invocation of Rule 22C? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on invoking Rule 22C.
On 22C, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. Rule 22C is invoked. The ordinance shall be considered finally passed. Madam Clerk, please call the final item on the agenda.
The last item is a resolution for the official Juneteenth song.
Councilor Click Bruce.
Thank you, Council President. Before I actually read the resolution, I just want to briefly give a little bit of background on this, how this came about. I was actually inspired by Councilor Govan and Miss Martina Scheider to actually bring this to the council and also ultimately bring it to the State House to see if we can make this our official Juneteenth song. But many of you know, should know, on June 19th, 1866, formerly enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, celebrated a year of emancipation, of freedom, with the Juneteenth holiday. Juneteenth celebrates quickly, spread to the rest of the country, and the date continues to be the oldest known tradition honoring the end of slavery in the United States. So about a year ago, I reached out to Pastor Burgess, who couldn't be here tonight, and a good friend of mine called, his name is Deacon Lovejoy, about bringing men together. And I suggested we sing a song. It was actually sung in 2008. It was called You Will Know. And I just wanted to bring some men together. So in that conversation, Pastor Burgess said, no, we're going to actually do our own song. And that kind of evolved and birthed into something very unique that I don't think happened in the city of Springfield before. So we brought men from different backgrounds, creeds, colors, and we actually rehearsed for over a year. Then we came up with a final product called United We Stand. And the name of the group is called Brothers United. It's all men from the city of Springfield. So this song, which I shared with the council, I hope you had the chance to listen to it, talks about an array of things. And some may be uncomfortable with it, but it's a struggle that, quite frankly, being a young African American here, growing up in this city and also throughout the world, that my father and my grandfather and his grandfather actually experienced. So it's near and dear to my heart, and it's something that speaks to my background and my son's background and people that look like me. So I brought this to the council to support and answer any questions, but here's an official resolution. Whereas the members of the Springfield City Council support and encourage local artists, Brothers United, as they highlight the importance of Juneteenth through music. And whereas Springfield residents, Brothers United, came together to make history in the city of Springfield, affectionately known as the City of First. And whereas the Springfield City Council urges our state representative to file a bill with the state and act designating the official Juneteenth song of the Commonwealth as United We Stand. And be it further resolved that the Springfield City Council hereby strongly and respectfully urges the Massachusetts state legislators to support this song. Words and music by Brothers United shall be the official Juneteenth songs of the Commonwealth. So I just urge my colleagues to support, and I'm here to answer any questions. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilor Click Bruce. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Councilor Hurst, followed by Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Laval, for bringing this to the forefront. I had an opportunity to listen to the song. It was extremely powerful, and certainly one that resonated with me, and also one that I could relate to. I guess my only ask of you is whether, we could have the individuals who produced the song perform it for the first time at the official Juneteenth flag raising on June 16th at 12 o'clock. And I think the importance of that would go a long way, as it hasn't been that long since the city of Springfield made Juneteenth an official holiday. Kudos to Councilor Whitfield. And certainly we've done it at the state level, and kudos to Rep. Williams. But, I think it's important, and there's a lot of symbolism in terms of where we've moved the flag raising. And so we now have the official flag raising at the Black Vietnam Veterans Memorial for a variety of different reasons. But one, that it, really signifies the struggles that individuals of color have had to go through. And not just the struggles in terms of those who were enslaved seeking their emancipation, but the struggles that, quite frankly, many individuals of color currently face. And so to have it at the Black Vietnam Veterans Memorial was something that we thought was significant, and I think there'd be no better place for this official song, once hopefully we pass this resolution, to be sung at. So I'm hopeful you'll be able to convey that to those individuals, and we can get the first live public performance at our Juneteenth flag raising. With that said, kudos, Councilor Laval, Bruce Click.
Thank you, Councilman Hurst. And they are actually performing the song they're already committed to doing it at the Raymond Jordan Center. I'll definitely ask Pastor Burgess if they'll mind doing it a second time or prior to that, but I'll circle back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Hurst. Councilor Brown, followed by Councilor Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. I definitely want to commend my colleague, Councilor Click Bruce. His dad has been a mentor of mine, and it really is an important thing. I want to be added also to the resolution. With Juneteenth, State Rep Bud Williams was the one, as far as from the state, who actually petitioned for it. I aided as far as drafting the legislation, so it was something that I worked on personally. This is very iconic when it comes to being a young black man myself. So when it comes to actually doing positive things and fighting for our people, this is something that's definitely, I commend my colleague, LeVar. He's been a breath of fresh air, and I definitely want to be added to it, and I appreciate all the work that you do. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Councilor Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilor Click Bruce, all I could think of is this is We Are the World of Springfield with all of the different singers and other artists, rappers on there. It's a great, great, great song and collaboration. I would like to be added to the resolution as well. It is near and dear to my heart as well because I sponsored the ordinance to make Juneteenth a holiday in the city of Springfield for paid municipal workers to have the day off. I mean, for municipal workers to be paid to have the day off, just like the 4th of July, and it passed unanimously with the council, so I thank the council for that. The words have powerful message about unity and being united, and that's something that we should always work on. Regardless if we agree or disagree on certain things, we don't have to be divided. And so I think that with the Juneteenth Jubilee Committee, Councilor Hurst and I started flag raising process for Juneteenth before any other elected official in the city of Springfield. And I think that, like he said, it would be great if this collaboration could make it to our flag raising on June 16th at noon. So I just want to say congratulations. This is a great song, great message, and the truth has to be told at all times. And you know, I'm one for telling the truth. So thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Councilor Walsh, followed by Councilor Govan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to congratulate Councilor LeVar Quick Bruce, because I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's great when things originate in Springfield and the rest of the state have to follow us. But LeVar, can we hear the song? I think that would be so important.
I actually sent it to the council. I'll play a snippet of it.
Are you going to sing it?
I don't sing. I'm like P. Diddy. I'm a producer. I don't sing. I'm like P. Diddy. Right.
Great idea.
I'll definitely play the song at the appropriate time if Council President allows me to.
Certainly.
I think that'd be...
Certainly. At this time, Councilor Click Bruce, although maybe we should hear from Councilor Govan first. Anybody else who'd like to be heard and perhaps play the song prior to our vote, if that's agreeable to everybody. So we'll go to Councilor Govan.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Councilor Click Bruce, for bringing this forward. I would love to hear the song. I'm glad that you were inspired by Miss Montaigne. And something about, you know, Black history in this country that needs to be told, you know, like Councilor Click Bruce said, you know, Juneteenth was the holiday that was created because that's when the people who were enslaved in Alabama, right, discovered that they had been free. They had been free for a long time prior to that, but they just didn't know because they didn't have the internet like they have today, right? So they had to wait until they got the news. So that's the day that they got the news. And I'm hoping that these kind of events will continue to push us forward to continue learning the history, all of us, so that we don't have to repeat it. So I'm really excited to support this, and I'm glad to be on the resolution if I may. I think it's very important that we continue to support each other. Unity absolutely is what we need, continue to need. So I'm just hoping that we will continue to do things like this regularly and remember our history so that we don't repeat it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Govan. Is there any further deliberation? Councilor Edwards, followed by Councilor Fenton, followed by Councilor Allen. Councilor Edwards.
Well, first of all, I want to applaud my colleague, Councilor Clegg Bruce, and I want to applaud all of the people across this Commonwealth and the city who are recognizing the importance of our contributions as people of color. I had the opportunity to speak last year at the Black History event, and I just wanted to reiterate that my comment was then, and it is today, that Black history is American history. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Councilor Edwards. Councilor Fenton, followed by Councilor Allen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to echo every other council member's comments and want to congratulate Councilor Click Bruce on bringing this forward. I'm happy to support it. I listened to the song. I think it's over 8 minutes. Yeah. And it was really well done and very tastefully done. So happy to support it tonight and look forward to hearing a portion of those 8 minutes. Thank you.
Agreed. Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Councilor Fenton. Councilor Allen.
Congratulations, LeVar, for bringing this forward, and congratulations to the City Council for the advocacy. There's people on this council who have pushed us to make sure we are doing the right thing in a lot of different ways, including on racial justice, et cetera. So I'm glad to be part of this, and appreciate LeVar. I think you've been here about a year, and nice to see you taking a leadership role on this as well. So thank you, everybody, and congratulations.
Thank you, Councilor.
Councilor Allen, Councilor Perez, followed by Councilor Davila.
I just want to say that when we work united, looking at the history, the slave was emancipated in 1862, and they had to do this stand out, all united in Texas, to say that 250,000 slaves needed to be emancipated. Congratulations on that matter. And I think that's the work that we need to continue in the city. Felicidades. And thank you, my colleague LeVar. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too echo what my colleagues have said today, and I would like to be added as a co-sponsor to this resolution. I do think that this is an absolutely appropriate, excellent way to remind us of the history of this country. For if we forget history, we are, like they said, they were bound to repeat the mistakes and the crimes of the past. This is absolutely excellent, and my compliments, and I look forward to also hearing a portion of the song. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Is there any further deliberation on the resolution? Seeing none, Councilor Click Bruce at this time will hear a portion of the song. And when Councilor Govan did it, it worked fairly well to play it into the microphone.
United we stand, divided we fall. Things work better together, stand for one and for all. Even when we're hurting, things don't seem right. We can make a great difference if we stand up and fight. Police brutality, we can't watch this for long. We gotta stand all across this world and show that we are real strong. Bonding together to make a great change. Putting our trust in the one above to help us stay sane. Everything that you do, you can lean on me, I'll lean on you, and we will get through. United we stand.
Council President, that's a snippet of the song. It's Ignited We Stand, and it's a great collaboration. And I just want to say I'm thankful to the colleagues that supported it and spoke upon it. It means the world to me, and I truly am grateful. And I'll relay this to Pastor Burgess, also Pastor Morgan, Pastor Swan, or Bishop Swan. There's a few others on it that I know I'm going to miss. And that's why I didn't want to call out names, but it's truly a collaborative effort from men from the city of Springfield. So again, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilor Click Bruce. Is there any further deliberation prior to our vote? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on approval of the resolution. Oh, I'm sorry, there was one hand up. I apologize. Was there further deliberation? The hand seems to have disappeared, so I believe we are good to go for a vote on the resolution.
On approving the resolution, Councillor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Whitfield. Councillor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The resolution passes. Is there any further business properly brought before this body, Madam Clerk?
There is not.
Seeing none, we will stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.